All right. Today we are making the most perfect UFC White House card. It's been confirmed by both Dana and Donald Trump on the 4th of July. They are 100% going to be doing this by 2026. So we got to get into it. We got to see who would be the best fit to go fight on the White House lawn. Let's get into it. First fight, opening. We got Pat Sabatini versus Nate Landwehr. Now, I know this card is going to be 2026, so we've got some time ahead of time. A lot of these fighters on this card already have pre-existing scheduled fights, and partially it's going to be based on whether they win or lose. Now, Nate Landwehr is scheduled to take on Morgan Charrier. I think he will win that fight. And Pat Sabatini's coming off a win over Joanderson Brito. So I think this is a perfect fight. Both these guys American. Nate Landwehr's got that southern charm to him. It wouldn't surprise me if he actually voted for Trump, just saying. I don't know 100% what Nate Landwehr voted for or who Nate Landwehr voted for, but I'm just saying it'd be an entertaining fight. Nate Landwehr either wins in some war or just gets starched. And Sabatini, if he doesn't get a heel hook or sort of just go to war, he ends up, it's a coin flip fight either way. I think this fight will be fireworks and a great opener to UFC White House, if that's what they want to call it. It's definitely going to be on pay-per-view. There's no way they're doing just some shitty fight night, but this would be my opener. Next fight on the card, Bryce Mitchell versus Doo Ho Choi, Korean Superboy. I did my best to make this fight this fight card as American as I could. But realistically, we need some foreign fighters to be coming over just so we can have like some Americans to rally for and sort of just be more patriotic. And I always thought this fight made sense anyway. These two have kind of been circling in and out of each other's radar. Doo Ho Choi, I think he just beat Nate Landwehr, funny enough, and he's fighting above him on this card. So one's like a really heavy knockout puncher. Bryce Mitchell is actually scheduled to fight Said Nurmagomedov very soon, actually. He's actually coming back to the octagon before Gene Silva, if you could believe that. I don't know why. I guess he really was born with brain damage. But win or lose, I think he'll win, but better if he does win, just so you can justify this fight more. This fight would be fireworks. And, people would be rooting for Bryce. I think this would really bring in, a lot of good traffic. And you can't have a White House card without Bryce Mitchell. And God damn it, get him some camo shorts. Damn it. My next fight on the card, Peyton Talbot versus Adrian Yanez. Both these guys American. I didn't really put that much thought into this. I just thought it'd be a cool fight. Listen, best case scenario, this happens May 2026. So I might be reaching a bit with this one. I don't really think it's going to take that long to get this fight made, but I'm just kind of using it as filler because I think it would be a good fight. And ideally, you can't have every single fight on this card as much as Dana would like and as much as I try to in this video to be a ranked fight. But this would be fireworks. These guys kind of hovering outside of the rankings. I don't think they'll hold off until May of next year to book this fight. But it was just an idea. Next fight, Bo Nickel versus Magomed Sharaputin Magomedov. This fight was actually highly talked about, and that's kind of weird for two unranked middleweights because it's not really the most stacked weight class, but I think this fight would be perfect for a White House card, and I don't even think this will be their next fight. If I'm not mistaken, Sharaputin Magomedov already has a fight scheduled. I believe it's Marc-Andre Barriol, but I could be wrong. And Bo Nickel is just coming off that loss to Renier de Ridder, which isn't even bad. People were mocking the shit out of him for losing to Renier de Ridder, but I think Renier de Ridder might even beat Robert Whittaker, honestly, now that we've, how Whittaker's been talking lately. I think Renier de Ridder might win. So I don't necessarily think that'd be a bad match or a bad person to lose to, given on what he could go on to do. People will like mock Bo Nickel because it was devastating, and Bo Nickel was talking a lot of shit beforehand. But I don't think that loss is going to age badly at all. But yeah, Bo Nickel versus Sharaputin Magomedov. This is a 50-50 fight. Bo Nickel's been clamoring for it. He is a big Trump guy, and he is American. And Sharaputin Magomedov did have a lot of hype before the last MVP loss, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, MVP is a tricky striker, even though he was like smaller. Him going up, lighter man skill, as Lucas Glazy would say. And yeah, I do think this would be a great fight to have. It's high profile. It's probably one of the most high profile middleweight fights outside the rankings you could possibly make right now. And I think it'd be a great sort of like prelim fight for the UFC White House card. Moving on. Cody Garbrandt versus Patchy Mix. Now this is going to be like another like really high profile unranked fight. Neither of these guys have a ranking next to their name. Patchy Mix kind of flopped in his debut against Mario Batista. I, including several others, thought he was going to go in and just starch Mario Batista. That didn't happen. He got exposed for 3 rounds, looked like a complete fish out of water, and really just disappointed us. Kind of like put into perspective how like lower these Bellator and PFL guys are compared to the UFC. Because Mario Batista looked like a world beater in that fight. And then we have Cody Garbrandt, who lost to Raoni Barcelos. Also, before that, lost to Davison Figueiredo. These guys are both like very well-known people outside of the rankings at bantamweight. Both seen as entertaining fighters, assuming they show up, which Patchy Mix didn't in his last fight. But I think there's a very slim chance of that happening here. And whoever wins this will likely stick around in and out of the rankings over the course of the next few years. And whoever doesn't will just have to kind of like ease their way out of the sport. And I think this fight would be a banger, man. Both of these guys can bring it, and I think they're the perfect opponents for each other to sort of showcase that. So, Cody Garbrandt versus Patchy Mix. That's going on the White House card. Next fight. Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Chito Vera. Another bantamweight fight. Another great bantamweight fight that makes all the sense in the world because Henry Cejudo and Marlon Vera are both older guys. They're both kind of on the downslope of their careers. They're both coming off some losses, and they've both been on each other's radar for a while. Marlon Vera isn't American, but he is a supporter of Donald Trump, and he doesn't live in America. And Henry Cejudo, as you know, is a big Trump guy. And there's going to be a lot of shit talk between these two, and the fight's going to be decent. Like I think this is going to be a good build-up. What they should do is they should have a whole like press conference for this event, from this fight to the main event, because they're all going to be talking shit. But the UFC don't really do that anymore because one, they don't want to spend the money, and two, Dana White is failing as a promoter. But if they were smart, they get a whole panel from this fight to the main event of these guys on stage, because not only would they be talking shit to their opponents, they'd also be like cross trash talking other people in other divisions. You know, I could see like Conor McGregor and Justin Gaethje going at it. Hint, hint, Justin Gaethje's up in this video. I guess I kind of spoiled it. But anyways, back on topic. Henry Cejudo, Marlon Vera, great fight. Makes all the sense of the world. It is going to be a little way out, but both of these guys are older, and I think they both know they're not going to be fighting for a belt or be champion again, in Cejudo's case. So it's a good fight. It makes all the sense if they want to wait, and like if they think that promotion and sort of spotlight is worth waiting until like May of next year. I say book it. We should book a lot of these fights in advance anyway. Next fight, Juliana Pena versus Norma Jamont. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, why'd you put a female fight on this? Listen, man. Listen. You know there's going to be some politically correct psychos who are going to be like, oh, Where's the women fighting on this card? Trump isn't progressive enough. That's why there are no females fighting. Where's the representation? And blah, 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 blah. Well, here it is. And in real life, there's likely to be more female fights on this potential White House card if it ever happens. But this is the fight I would book. Juliana Pena is a Trump supporter. She just lost the belt to Kayla Harrison. And Norma Dumont is on a streak, likely going to be the next contender for Nunes versus Harrison. But she just kind of needs that one last signature win. And Juliana Pena, if she wins this, could reinsert herself back into the title picture. So this fight makes all the sense in the world. It's probably not going to be a banger, but it is the fight I would make as far as the female division goes. And obviously, Nunes, Harrison, whoever wins that is going to need an opponent. So this is the fight I would make on that UFC White House card. And there ain't nothing more American than two baddie Latinas fighting it out. I mean, I might be stretching it for Norma Dumont, but Juliana Pena most certainly. So it's on there. Nothing I could do. Moving on. We've got Colby Covington versus Kevin Holland. And Kevin Holland's doing the iCarly stance in that photo I made. Oh, my God. Well, yeah, this fight is pretty self-explanatory. Two ranked welterweights. The only reason I think this might be kind of up in the air is that Kevin Holland's likely not going to sit idle until May of next year. That's insane to think about. He's definitely going to want to fight beforehand. And he's win or lose, I still think this fight should happen. If Kevin Holland takes a fight and ends up losing or winning, doesn't matter. This fight should still happen. I think both these guys would be happy to take it. Colby's a big Trump supporter, and he would love, no doubt, would love the spotlight in taking this fight. And I know Kevin Holland would too. And Kevin Holland called him out a while ago after his win against Vicente Luque. So I think this is the perfect fight. Both guys American, both guys on good terms with Donald Trump. I think this fight makes all the sense in the world for a main card slot for UFC White House. And we move on. Next fight. And this one I kind of was like, oh, well, this might just be stacking too much. But hear me out here, right? Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez has been on like a quiet streak of like at middleweight. Like he's on like a 7 or 8 fight win streak. He's booked right now to face Roman Dolidze. If he wins that fight, he's going to be looking for a title elimination bout. And I don't think there's many other options. I mean, let's say he fights, he's fighting in June, July? I don't remember when Anthony Hernandez is fighting, but relatively soon. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, May. March, April, May. 10 months from now. He could take another fight. Obviously, Sean Strickland, it's in talks to fight Israel Adesanya in a rematch. If he wins that, I think this is the fight you want to do. Whoever wins gets to reinsert themselves back into the title picture. Both guys American. Sean Strickland, as you know, kind of crazy out there. Like I said, this would be the one fight I'm kind of like, okay, well, I understand why this doesn't have to happen. But I still think it should. Obviously, you got to tell Strickland to watch his mouth. And it wouldn't be the most entertaining fight, which is kind of why I'd be like okay with losing this one and putting it on a fight night. Because no doubt a lot of fight nights are going to be suffering after this entire thing. Just because I know how much Dana will want to stack it. Because this is the biggest opportunity promotionally on a national level that the UFC is ever going to get. So I'd say book it. Sean Strickland, the number one contender. Anthony Hernandez, if he wins, gets his title shot. Moving on. Jamal Hill versus Dominic Reyes. Both guys American. Both guys are purely stand-up artist boxers. And it would just be a fun, entertaining fight for everyone. Jamal Hill is technically on a 3-fight skid, whereas Reyes is on a 3-fight winning streak. I wouldn't normally justify this, but I think in context it makes sense because Jamal Hill still around that sort of top 5 area. And Reyes had just broken his 3-fight skid before that to get to the point where he's going to be able to challenge for that spot. Now he is fighting Alexander Rakic. He does have a fight scheduled with him. If he does win, this would be the ideal fight. Or if Rakic wins, you could mix and match. But I think this would be the better alternative for UFC White House because both sides are American. I really tried to stuff every American fighter on this that I could. But realistically, just wasn't going to happen. You need some foreign fighters. So if Rakic has to step in and do it, I guess we can do that. Although that's not ideal. But yeah, Hill versus Reyes, man. It's a good fight. Both these guys, top light heavyweight contenders. They never fought before. It'd be an interesting boxing fight. I really don't think it'd be boring at all. And I really don't know who will win. Because, Reyes has kind of got that momentum back. He looks better than ever. And a lot of people are questioning if Hill is a top contender. They're really questioning if he is a top contender at this point. So I think this would be a great fight. I think it's guaranteed fireworks. And I'd love to see it. Moving on. Here we go. And this is where it gets kind of crazy. Justin Gaethje versus Beneil Dariush. Gaethje, you're not getting a title shot with one win over Fiziev. You beat him in the past. The days of 1-win streak title shots are over at lightweight. We're not doing this shit anymore. It happens way too often. Gaethje's acting like a spoiled brat. You either retire or you fight Dariush. And listen, I know they've trained together and they're signed to the same management and they're friends, whatever. Fuck friends. Enough of this, we're friends bullshit. It's annoying. It's stupid. And we got to kind of just roll the dice with this at this point, man. We just got to do it. Dariush just came back with that win over Moicano after being inactive for so long. He kind of showed that, Unk still got it moment. And he's probably not likely to be too active. Neither is Gaethje at this point. So plausibly, I could actually see them waiting out until a White House card to make this fight. I'll admit that a lot of these fights are a long stretch in how long they want to sit out for. But I'm just saying, in a perfect ideal world, this is what I would do. So Gaethje versus Dariush, they should fight. Both of these guys on one fight win streaks within that ranking area. Dariush lower to the top 10. Gaethje still hanging around at the top 5. You could have done Gaethje versus Oliveira, which would have been another rematch, not fresh. Plus Oliveira just got knocked out by Tapuria. It's not a fight you'd really want to see because it doesn't really do much for either guy. Gaethje knocks him out and the narrative that Charles is shot comes back up. And if Oliveira wins, he's already beaten Gaethje. So, what do you do? This is a fresh matchup. In my opinion, it's the only one that makes sense. Both these guys coming off wins. Not the most active. Both older. Let's get it done. Forget this, he's friends with me nonsense. Moving on. Main event. And I know this is crazy given to what I just listed. Both Gaethje and Dariush are higher ranked than McGregor or Chandler. Chandler's barely ranked and McGregor isn't ranked. But this is the biggest match that you could make to justify its placement at the White House and to bring in as many eyes to this UFC event as possible. You can't go to the White House with debutante contender series guy versus a guy on a fucking 4-fight losing streak on the main card or as the co-main event. You cannot do that, man. There are too many eyes. This is too prestigious of an event. You have to overstack it. So McGregor versus Chandler. If this fight was ever going to happen, it would be here. This is the perfect venue. This is the perfect opponent for Conor McGregor. If he will not fight Chandler at this event, then he is not fighting at all, and he is 100% officially retired. I've already kind of considered the fact that he might be fully officially retired prior to this announcement, but it's only because he's expressed interest in fighting Chandler at this event that I'm kind of less less willing to say that he's completely done and never going to return. He's a supporter of Donald Trump. So is Michael Chandler. These guys have been on the radar. They've been talking back and forth. McGregor's been leaving Chandler on red for like 4 years now. Chandler's been sitting on his ass, simping and begging for the Conor McGregor fight. So we're kind of at a situation where it has to happen now or never. I mean, there's no other opportunity better to book this fight. Um, and there's never going to be as many eyes on it than at this event. And I know both guys have no problem sitting and waiting around. So this would be, obviously, as it's already been said, the most likely um, fight for this UFC White House event. And it's got to happen. It's the most like evenly matched fight as well. I mean, if Conor McGregor's ever going to beat a lightweight that's ranked again, it would be Michael Chandler. I don't think he's ever going to go on a streak or win the belt ever again. I've kind of just more or less accepted that. But he could still put on a few entertaining fights and get some W's and help the sport before he officially retires. So this has got to be the fight. And this has been my matchmaking UFC White House supercard. And I know that there's going to be a lot of suffering over the next few months after this because of how stacked this card is. But hear me out, man. Dana White wants nothing else but promotion and press. And I have no doubt that he's willing to let other cards suffer and the UFC suffer just to make a huge statement by overstacking this card. So unfortunately, it's just kind of the price we have to pay going forward, that we're going to have Contender Series guys and the co-main events of fight nights and guys on 4-fight losing streaks on pay-per-view main cards, but it's all for the greater good to overstack the shit out of this event. And I know Dana will do it. So this has been my matchmaking and creating the perfect UFC White House card. You guys let me know if I could have